The story of Lazarus and the rich man has always made me uncomfortable. I think it's intended to make us all uncomfortable. It's all about social justice. In the parable, the rich man went to hell not because he was rich, not because he had earned his money in an immoral way, not because he had been asked by Lazarus to help and he refused, not because he had done anything evil to him at all. He went to hell because when there was a poor man at his gate, he simply did nothing. He was condemned not because he had done anything wrong, but precisely because of what he failed to do. He simply ignored Lazarus. In school, I used to love it when a teacher would tell us what area of the subject would be on the test so that we could focus on that and get good grades. You know, in chapter 25 of St. Matthew's Gospel, Jesus pretty much does tell us what's going to be on the final test. He tells us what the criteria will be upon which we will be judged. He tells us that he will separate us into two groups based upon how we treated the poor and the needy in our midst. To those on the right who will be saved, he said, "Come, you blessed ones, inherit the kingdom prepared for you since the beginning of the world. For I was hungry, I was thirsty, a stranger, naked, ill, and imprisoned, and you cared for me." But to those on the left, he will say, "Depart from me, you evildoers, to the fiery furnace prepared for the devil and his angels. Because I was hungry and you gave me no food, thirsty and you gave me no drink, naked and you gave me no clothes, a stranger and you gave me no welcome, ill and in prison and you didn't care for me." The condemned will ask, "Lord, when did we see you hungry, thirsty, naked, ill, a stranger, or a prisoner, and didn't minister to your needs?" And Jesus will say in reply, "As often as you failed to do this for the least of my brothers and sisters, you failed to do it to me." The rich man went to hell because in neglecting Lazarus at his doorstep, he was neglecting God. I hope that makes us all a little bit uncomfortable. In our first reading, the prophet Amos literally gives the affluent hell for ignoring the poor. And we are the affluent. Perhaps that stings a little bit. Many of us cringe when we hear the phrase social justice, and we relate that phrase to so-called liberal wing of the church. To those who feel this way about social justice, Jesus says, "Woe to you, get over it." Everything we have, everything, our talents, our possessions, are gifts from a generous God and should never be hoarded for our own purposes, but rather they should be used for God's purpose, which is the common good. And for any Catholic who feels that he is a social justice Catholic, and that is the highest principle upon which Catholic morals are to be, and that abortion is evil, but in certain instances or circumstances, it may sometimes or somehow be justified to accomplish a higher social justice. That is a lie, and woe to you. The babies in their mother's wombs are the least of the least of our brothers and sisters. And all social justice begins with the unborn.